Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. This is like the third time I tried recording this thing. OBS is going crazy. I don't know what's going on, but maybe it's just because I need to season this video just like I season my chicken with Ricky's. Look at that. That's how I'm going to lubricate the udders. Oh, that's my secret, baby. I put Ricky's as a marinade, taking it to the next level. Regardless, guys, let's talk about this. Let me see if I can get this video out the way finally. Oh, man, let me tell you guys. It looks like Karl Jobst's dark past is coming back to haunt him. He has performance issues here. Let me show you. Let me show you, Karl.
Hello, you absolute legends.
What's up, absolute legend? We need to explain this. Why is this video underperforming? 246,000. I'm not liking that, Karl. You know, this is what, 70% below your average? Not digging that, man. That is not cool. You're gonna like this. I used AI to analyze your channel, and it says that it's 70% below what you usually get. All right, but before I continue in this financial penetration that Karl Jobst is incurring, let's hear from our sponsors.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a man lie to you before?
A man lied to me before? Yeah. Yep. This guy right here. And I'm not the only one that feels that way, and that's why he's having these financial troubles. Look at this.
And he lied. He misrepresented his own case in his videos. And
It's a question about character. It's a question about character. And it's not only that people feel that he lied, he also is having YouTubers saying that they didn't know anything about the case. It's making people think that this guy lies by omission, right? Now, do I believe every single YouTuber? No, right? No, I don't believe Moist Critical, for example, because he testified in the trial. And there's certain things, guys, that when you testify at a trial, that the lawyers have to inform you about. And you need to have your own lawyer because, unless you're an idiot, right? Even if somebody's calling you to testify and they might be friendly to you, they're not looking for your own best interest. And this is not legal advice of any kind or financial, by what you're going to hear later. Because I'm just a guy on YouTube. You shouldn't get your opinions from guys on YouTube or you're going to end up like Karl Jobst on the losing side of trials. And, the thing here is that it's his credibility. Right, it's his credibility and what people think of him that really destroyed his case. It really did. When you think about defamation cases, just take a look, for example, at a Cardi B case. That was like $4 million. Look at even the other lawsuit with Apollo. It was $1 million. Right, that's usually what they're about. But if you look at this case here with Billy Mitchell, he just asked for, whatever the amount is there in Australia. And for punitive, he only asked for $50,000, which is what he lost here. And this is a strong part of his case. And I believe that's what it's called, punitive. I'm not sure what they call it down there. But anyway, he lost 50 grand. Now, can you imagine? This guy, it has to eat at Karl's just gnawing his craw, right? Because Billy Mitchell gets 50. Right, 50 to host an auction, right? And it's nuts, right? It drives him nuts that Billy gets this kind of money, right? I believe that we can make another video about that, right? But look, Billy had the receipts. Billy had the receipts that showed damages from this person, and at the end of the day, the reason that Karl lost this case, according to the judge, is that he lied. He lied. It's simple as that. So he lied to his fans, he lied in court, and he lied to YouTubers. And what's his brand? Accuracy. He's catching cheaters. And here he is doing all the stuff that he's accusing other people of, number one. Number two, he accuses people of far worse things. He accuses people of crimes. So it's no mystery that people are walking away from him, but I'm going to tell you that it's not the only reason. Look, guys, in the grand scheme of things, I'm a very small channel. The reason I sit here and talk about these things is because Bob in accounting doesn't care about video games, right? Danny in shipping doesn't care about Donkey Kong, so I got nobody to talk to. My wife doesn't want to talk to me about these things. So here we are. I'm using the best usage of my time as much as I can. When I'm taking breaks from changing diapers and going to college, to do these videos, right? And I mean, can you imagine me talking about this? It just at work, they want to talk about the golf tournament. I mean, that's what everybody's excited about. I don't care about that. I just go there and lose. People like playing with me because I don't know anything, right? I can sort of swing. I can putt a little bit, but I'm losing most of the time, and that's okay. My boss loves that because he knows he can beat me every game. But look at Moist Critical.
Well, I thought that was dead to rights. Then again, I didn't know what the full case was about.
Well, washed his hands of him. Washed his hands of him just like Mudahar did, right? And it's not only because of that. Let me tell you. It's not only because of that. It's because of the other things that Karl has done in his past that are being brought up.
Really good at video game guys. The over-optimism, though, putting the cart before the horse, seems like. Well, we know now in retrospect it was putting the cart before the horse. Karl.
Oh, yeah, he did. Right? And this hurt him because he was so arrogant online. But this is just a compounding factor of making him really look
Emphasized
like
quite
a liar.
Bit that he will most likely win and that he won't let Billy weasel away and get away with this trial so he can face justice. He is so bold as to go.
And it was always framed that this was about video game scores. And this is why people felt so secure, right? This is why people felt so misled, because if they would have known that it was about Apollo Legend, it would have been quite different. Look, guys, the stuff that I'm going to talk about right now, I'm not going to address, any of it after this. I'm really not, because number one, I don't want to be that kind of channel that's going into these things. Number one, because I have kids here around the house, right? I have kids around the house. Most of them are going to primary school. I just don't want to be discussing these kind of things around the house. I have 5 or 10 minutes to, clown a little bit, keep it lighthearted for your entertainment, right? But since you guys have been asking me about this, I'm going to address it here and at no other time. I don't really want to talk about the things that Karl was into in his past because they're so dark. Whether it comes to his political views, whether he's a fan of people that lived in the 1930s in Germany, the Swazies, right? The Yahtsees. But it's all there. I'm going to link these videos down below by people I can't even pronounce, right? And let me tell you, being Hispanic, this is a challenge. Persephone van der Ward, right? I hope I got it right, right? I hope I got it right. This is a very long video. It would probably help if you put timestamps on it, with the pertinent stuff, because the video is so long, right? But people, if you really want to get into it, right? If you want to go into deep dive, this is one video. But don't worry, I have others to show you. Now, if I'm getting this, right? If I'm getting these kind of things and I'm seeing them on my timeline, you can imagine what big YouTubers are getting, right? And in the grand scheme of things, I'm a small channel. What I do and what we say here, what we share amongst each other makes really no difference. Very few people, see this in the hundreds, right? It has nothing to do with a channel that is 1 million strong, right? But if I'm getting it, other people are getting it, right? And this is really a backlash of what happened to the Moon channel, right? What's been happening to Lus, the attacks he received, because whatever they did to that man, he's going for the jugular, man. When you have a lawyer calling you racist, right? A lawyer that knows the law, that practices, and they don't even flinch, they don't stutter, they just say it, means they're not afraid of you. They're not afraid of you suing them for saying that, right? So whatever evidence they have is way more than I have. The Moon Channel, right? Stop talking about it because he didn't want to be doxxed anymore, because that's the kind of issues that they were dealing with. And with the conclusions you can draw, right, from these two fellows being involved here, and by Karl using this kind of language, and guys, I'm going to link these videos down below, right? I'm not going to talk about it here, but Karl's a big fan of the N-word, apparently. And this guy has never, apologized to Billy, right? And that's a huge thing, guys. The only way you can progress in life is by, acknowledging your mistakes and moving forward. I don't want Karl to be gone, because what am I going to talk about? He needs to be one of the subjects, right? He needs to be part of the mix. But he's into cancel culture, right? And now he's, and what we know about people that love cancel culture, that they eat their own. And that's what's happening to him, right? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And what's being floated around there, right? And one of the biggest questions that people have is why this focus on Billy Mitchell when it wasn't there, right? He was involved in a lawsuit, but had nothing to do with, his demise. That was already settled. But why was Karl so obsessed with this? Well, these two guys, and this is just a theory, right, that is being floated out there. These two guys, Dark Viper and Easyscapes, were going in on Apollo because of his extreme views, like this one, right? Like this one, because he was defending some other YouTuber that had extreme views or something to that effect. Okay, don't quote me, but maybe Apollo didn't share all of them, but he was defending this guy that really did, right? And there's, if Apollo Legend, voted for Trump or something, that's a huge leap to make than, somebody voting for Trump because they can't afford groceries or the gas is too high, than being to that extreme, right? But he was getting attacked and canceled for that. And these two guys that did that never did it to Karl. And it looks like Karl went back and scrubbed a lot of these things, okay, according to what's being said on the internet. And the reason he was chummy with these guys, because he didn't want to get the Apollo treatment. Now, isn't that something? Like Tommy Tallarico used to say. Right? If he joins them, then it's going to be far less likely than these guys make videos on him, because I haven't heard this guy say anything. He hasn't come to his defense or anything. He covered for these two men, and they're not defending him. And now this stuff is coming out. And I'm not the only one getting it, right? So if he goes in on Billy and defends these two guys, runs cover for him, then nobody's gonna look here. Oh, look over there. Look over there. It's Billy's fault. It's Billy's fault. And that didn't even make it into court. If this stuff comes out in court, Jesus Christ, right? This is going to come out of appeal. There is no way, right? If I have it, Billy's lawyers have this, every minute detail, because these YouTubers are getting it, right? They have receipts. This guy has receipts. And again, I'll link it down below. I'm not going to address it beyond here because, we're about clowning. We're just about having a good time. Right? I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. And like I said, guys, I have kids here. I can't be talking about this stuff, in a regular basis and researching it and playing videos where I'm going to find all this stuff. I have no interest, right? I'll clown on people for doing dumb things, but keep it on the lighter side of things. But even for me, it's like way too dark. What's really disturbing is that nowhere is this acknowledged. I haven't seen public apologies to any of the people, right, that were offended by him. You could say, hey, look, I'm sorry. I was just talking with the boys, whatever. But you have to apologize, right? You have to apologize. He won't even apologize to Billy after a court proved that he was wrong. And it was never about money. Billy only asked for the money that he lost. He could ask for way more. Even the judge said you could ask for way more, right? But for Billy, it's not about money. He doesn't even need Karl's money. He doesn't. But I'm telling you, that's going to be great. Imagine you wake up and you just see that money there. Man, every month, if you can make it grow, above 6%, you're going to be having a field day. And he's going to be posting about it every month. Anyway, guys, that's it here. That's the reason why he's getting financially penetrated. Because truth was his brand. He framed it that way. I'm the guy with the truth. Everybody else is lying. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct, the DSP way. Right? And it turns out that these guys are saying not only that he engaged in this, but that he also cheated. Cheated at speedrunning. So if you cheat at speedrunning, why the hell are you talking about cheaters on speedrunning? I mean, the hypocrisy is just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Right? I don't know how he's going to survive this. All this crap. Specifically the accusations of racism are going to be damning for him. He needs to come out and address this. He needs to come out and stop hiding over there in Discord, Jobst Korea, and acknowledge some of this stuff. If he wants to be commercially viable, right? Like what he wants to do. He wants to have sponsors, this and that and the other. I mean, the trolls are already running over to sponsors with this stuff. I mean, how many are you going to have after this? I don't know. I have no clue. Right? But like I said, I'm a small channel. I'm and if I'm seeing these things and everybody else is publishing these things, right? Because this video is from 12 days ago. So I'm super late on this stuff, right? And I don't like talking about it, until it's out there, until I can, point to it and say, okay, well, this guy is saying this, or this person said that, or this, but this looks terrible, man. How he's going to survive this, I don't know. He needs to diversify. He needs to apologize. He needs to start doing the right things. But as it is now, Billy Mitchell's going to take that red joystick that he loves, cover it with Ricky's, and shove it right down his cornhole. Karl, you got some splaining to do. All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.